Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to AG Cornog Field Stadium. I am Tommy Toohill with Max Capello. We're back after a long spring break. And tonight, we're going to give you a pretty big matchup here, Max. We got boys lacrosse, a team that had and is on a little bit of a skid right now, having a big matchup against another hard Central League opponent in Harriton. But the boys are starting to get a little bit more on the healthier side. They're starting to grow a little bit more as a team. And they're going to come out against a team that, they beat last year. This is a pivotal game. Sorry if we just lost you there for a second. Anyway, Max, continue to talk about what was going on with this Ford's team.
Yeah. So if you were with us in our last broadcast, they were playing
the last time we broadcasted. It was before spring break. We actually talked to Brendan McNichol during the track meet, a little bit about the team. And before that, I believe we called when they played Radnor. They played Radnor last.
Yeah, so they were down a couple of their defensemen, a.k.a. Quinn McGloin and Luke Winters. But as I've heard, I think Quinn McGloin is back.
Which is big because besides being, they were shorthanded on the defensive end and, obviously just a little lost. On that end a little bit, considering, since he left, which was the Ruston game?
I think that was the last. No,
the Westchester
East in the East game.
So after they lost some of their defensive men, they have allowed at least double-digit goals since then. The lowest amount they let up was 10 to Pencrest in a 10-8 game, which, by the way, Pencrest is the number one team in District 1 2A, which is the smaller school size for District 1 for lacrosse. Basically like the 5A if you are talking about football in a sense. Yeah. But, they went against really a rough stretch here. Unionville, who is a very good team, they barely won against. Ruston, whose record is 6-2. They got a little owned against. It was a rough one there. That was a buzzsaw. Radnor, a 5-2 team who only lost to two a out-of-state team in Garden City and one of the better schools in the country in Episcopal Academy. But besides that, against Central League play, they're undefeated. And they pretty much owned the Fords there. It was a dogfight in media against Pencrest. They were in there till the end. It's kind of hard though because from what I'm getting and seeing a little bit is that there's a lot of stress put on these midfielders, Max, especially on the offensive end. I'm not seeing a lot, and really what it is it's Kern Kranick, if anything, is the main one. And when he doesn't get going, all the attackmen really don't get much. But besides that, you get a lot more added pressure on guys that have to play two ways, and that's not always a recipe for success.
Yeah, and this game they get back a big piece that they lost last game, and in Ben DeVitis. I mean, he was hurt for their game against Conestoga, so that'll be a big piece for the Fords today that comes back for the game, and then it's all going to come down to the people who can step up when there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting to see. Obviously, we said this team's getting healthy, but a little bit more on this Harriton team. We'll talk about them a little bit here. They're 5-4 coming into this game. So they are definitely a formidable team. But last year, the Fords did beat this team. They did beat this Harriton team 8-7 at Harriton. It was a very tight and competitive game. They really did a good job. Harriton did at sealing off Quinn Carson and making it so that some of the guys last year made it so some of the other people had to beat them, and it ended up happening. And it really last season it helped propel them because they started off last year a lot like they did right now. They were 2-6. Really didn't know if anything was good was going to come out of it. They made this incredible run. They got to 9-9. in a star-studded league. You know what I mean? They kind of got to more of the competitive games and not just the front runners in the district and in the district and the league. And they ended up making a run, and they were able to clinch a district playoff berth.
Yeah, and they're at that point in their season right now where they've gotten past the hardest part of their schedule. So, yeah, and like you said, now there's most of the games that they're about to play are winnable games, and the Fords need to capitalize on that so they can make a playoff run and maybe be even better than they were last year.
Definitely. I mean, I'm looking at their remaining schedule here. I mean, they're going to go to Perkiomen Valley, a team that they beat last year. They're going to go to Strathaven, a team they beat last year. They play Springfield here, rivalry game. Springfield is a very talented team, very good team. They have been for a long time, but rivalry game. You'll see what happens there. You never know. Ridley, a team they beat last year, here they travel to. They will play a very good if I'm not mistaken, the defending district champion, Marple for the 2A, Marple Newtown. They will go and they will play them. So I mean that's a tough game. So Springfield, Marple, and Garnet. If that actually maybe not even Garnet. I mean Garnet last year was good, but this year they're 4-4. So I mean besides that they have a Hatboro Horsham team that they beat last year that really officially sealed them in the playoffs. Upper Darby, which isn't really always a talented lacrosse school, some usually say, and then a competitive Council Rock team. So really at this point, they don't have to run the table max to make the playoffs, but the winnable games you have to be able to capitalize on if you want to maybe make that extra step in a program like we said they want to this year. They were a 500 team last year, barely made the playoffs, got smoked. They still have the chance to make it where they can get a higher seed, they can be over 500, and maybe if the cards fall in their favor, they could maybe make a little run in the district playoffs.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. The rallying off of a long stint of losses and then being able to come back home, hopefully get a big win, and then ride that momentum all the way through, and it can give you a run in the playoffs.
Definitely. I mean, anything at this point is big, but a team that last year you beat, these guys know each other from there are others, especially just around the area in general, but especially around here in Delaware County. A lot of these guys, they play club teams with each other. So, or like they had for a long time. So it gets to the point where people know people. So there's the little individual rivalries that go on. And then besides that, no one in the Central League really likes each other, Max. It's, there's not too many too many schools that are too friendly with each other. So, all I'm saying is that this is definitely should be a good one. And I'm very intrigued to see what happens.
I am too, Tommy.
All right, so we have about a minute left until they start to announce the starting lineups, and they sing the national anthem. So we will take a short break. We will come back to you guys, and please stay tuned. This is definitely going to be a good one here. AG Cornock Field, sun's starting to set. Not really a cloud in the sky, Max. I was out today, got a little tan on. I'm feeling good, little sun kissed, but definitely very excited to see where this one goes as the sun starts to set over the middle school.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see how the Fords do with their offense with their face-off guy, Ben DeVitas, back. So I'm just excited to see how well the Fords can produce.
All right, we will be back shortly. For Haverford Sports Media, I'm Tommy Toohill with Max Capello.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And that was a beautiful rendition by Haverford High School's very own choir here as we are about to get set off. The teams will go to the H. The goalies will be introduced, and then we will go from there. Max, we kind of talked about it a little bit, and it's been a stressor we've talked about all season. What are some of the keys here for the Fords if they want to try to win this big pivotal game in their season?
Well, one big thing is going to be starting off in the face-off. Ben DeVitis constantly winning the face-off is going to be able to give the Fords momentum to push on offense and get multiple shots on goal, which then will help with the offensive production. And then they also got to look for guys like Curran Kranick and Brendan McNichol to make plays, and even the young guys like Nils McCallion and Liam Taylor. So everybody's going to have to produce all around.
Yes, it'll definitely be interesting to see. Also, I'm interested considering, we've seen this spring break. Brendan, kind of talked to us about it at the, when we did the track meet in the beginning of spring break. He said, some of these young guys, they got to realize, hey, you can't be young guys anymore. You got to grow up. You got to be varsity lacrosse players and step up and realize, you have to, own up and, try to, just play hard and be able to compete with some of these guys, even though if they're bigger, older, stronger than you, faster. So I'm interested to see how some of the younger guys kind of progress here. And besides that, hey, it was a winnable game last year and they won it. It was, it's definitely a winnable game this year. It's not going to be easy, though. You're going to have to fight for it for the whole 48 minutes, but let's see where it gets you.
In the great words of Coach Powell, you are not a grade, you are a player.
Absolutely. Here by the way, quoting Coach Powell. I don't know if that's happened much, but it just has. Look at you, Max Capello, bringing out some of the new things here. We have DeVitis to take the face off here for the Fords, and just like that in his game back, he wins it. And now the Fords will start on offense here. Going to go try to touch in the box, and they will. DeVitis with it now. I'm assuming he will try to settle down. It looks like they have Nils McCallion away from underneath the cage. I wonder if they're going to stick with that. Obviously, we have not seen this team for a hot minute, my friend. So it'll be interesting to see some of the new things they draw up. Here as DeVitis right now holding it as he gives it over to Taylor. Taylor gets checked from behind, ball's loose, picked up by Nick McKendry, though. He'll feed it over to Kranick. And the Fords, lucky there to not have a turnover on the opening possession for their offense here. As McNichol gets a rip. Bouncer did not go, but Kranick's able to beat out the shot. Fords will retain possession.
And that right there from Brendan McNichol is going to be the key. Them just taking multiple shots on goal.
As there was a rip by Kranick, his just a little bit high above the crossbar. McCallion beats out the shot, though. And right now, this team feels kind of confident shooting the lacrosse ball right now, Max, and that's something you like to see.
Yeah, and again, that's going to be the key, getting multiple shots on goal, which then allows the goalie to break down and the forwards to get another chance.
As Kranick right there was trying to post up right outside the crease, it did not work out, though. He lost the ball. Rams will now try to clear. And they will now. Now they got a long pull here on the offense. Passed in, deflected, loose ball still, finally picked up. I believe that's by Owen Rose, and he's going to give it over to McKendry. And the forwards will go from there. Long pass right there for the clear. They were able to connect on it, but I think Harriton kind of rushed a little bit. Also, great job by the long pulls there. Obviously, Charlie Turner, Dylan Clark, and some people call him Gibby. I'll call him Quinn McGloin. Great job stepping up there, able to slide and do a nice little stick check.
Yeah, and I saw it. It was a great check by Charlie Turner, and then Owen Rose just took the clear.
Another shot there by McNichol. It was that one looked like a good enough opportunity, but I think if you're the forwards, you're going to try to look at what Kranick did a little bit, try to get closer to the net here as he does just that shot, barely saved off the twig of the goaltender. And now the Rams are going to try to clear again. Great opportunity there for the forwards to score. There might have been a little bit of luck, though, in that one. Harrison's goalie was able to get a little bit of the stick on it.
Yeah, and keeping the pressure is just that's what's going to make the goalie break down and give the forwards a chance at a scoring opportunity.
Yes, it will. As Wade DeVitas, after that stop there by the forwards, able to give it over to Owen Rose. He'll give it over to McKendry. He'll pick it up. Huntington been able, for the Rams here, their netminder, able to kind of step up there. As there's Nils McCallion, shot off the foot of Huntington. He's able to stand large there. Good opportunity for the freshman, but wasn't able to capitalize. So now DeVitas has it, as the forwards will try to set up. Great opportunity there again, Max. Just not able to capitalize. It kind of seems like that's what's going on with the forwards right now.
Yeah, but keeping the pressure on on this Harriton defense is going to make them make multiple mistakes, which then will give the forwards open shots, which they'll have to capitalize on.
As there was a rip there by DeVitas, Huntington was able to see it into his stick, and that'll go. Now, something that's always interesting is you love to see good as the Rams clear here. You always love to see an offense that's willing to take shots, right, Max? But the one thing, at least always in sports here with hockey, sometimes even soccer too, is that it is sometimes you see a goalie sees a certain amount of shots and they just feel comfortable enough to the point where they kind of just get locked in. And, you always want to try to make it where the goalie's guessing instead of knowing what you're going to do.
Yeah, and that's what's going to play to the Ford's advantage, because with how many shot attempts they've had, the goalie is going to then try to predict, and then you taking a shot is just going to – he's not going to see it the right way, and it'll just get through, and because you can't save every single goal. Yeah,
as it looks like Huntington now is going to take a long pass here. Rams might get numbers. Very aggressive, clear attempts here by the Rams. They want to make sure they get it out of their defensive zone as soon as possible. Really forced by their goaltender. Here's now they will get their first set offensive possession, as we have DeMarco with it now. He'll give it over to his fellow Ram. By the way, Harriton in their road reds, Haverford in the home whites. Here as we have some shadows with a little bit of a sunbeam on the field right now here at A.G. Cornock Field. Good passing right now by this Ford's team. Even better job by this Ford's defense, making sure they're getting into the face of these middies and attackmen. not letting anything too easy go there for scoring chances.
I think they're playing a little bit of a zone here, Tommy, because it looks like Charlie Turner, anything that comes up top, he's pressing, and then Keith and Owen Rose take the wings on the side, and then you got Quinn McGloin helping out in goal with Wade DeVitas.
Yeah, Will's short with it right now, trying to command as he gave it over to DeMarco. It looks like a pretty much a stagnant offense here by this Rams team. Not a lot of great intentional cuts. Here knows there's going to be an opportunity. Saved by DeVitas. Great job there. That was Augie Luke there. Had the opportunity right on the doorstep. Kind of seemed like he was the forgotten man in there from the Fords defense. Did not matter though. They were able to work on it, but there's a failed clear attempt by the Fords, something that plagued them a lot last year. Started to plague them a little bit in this rough patch, this rough start that they've had to the season. And now the Rams will get another offensive opportunity here after they touch in the box.
Yeah, this Fords defense has been playing really well. Wade DeVitas, he's doing what he does best. He hasn't let up anything so far, and the defense with Charlie Turner, Owen Rose, they're all playing really well as a goal is scored there.
Is right there. That looks like it is number 4, Sean Finnerty. Went right through the defense, kind of put Owen Rose in a blender there. Charlie's Turner check. He bounced off of, got right to the front of the net. Nice little bouncer, beat DeVitas. Rams strike first, 4:52 left in the opening quarter. 1-0 Harriton over the Fords. And, we kind of talked about it, Max. Fords starting to get a little bit more healthier on the defensive end, but definitely still shorthanded. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to shut it off now and not let anything else happen there. As there was DeVitas, lost the faceoff, but the Rams had a turnover there. Errant pass, I believe DeVitas forced that. Great job there by the faceoff and the midfielder of the Fords. Not letting anything bad happen as Owen Rose could not track down that clearing attempt. But the Fords retain possession now. And now this offense who hasn't been able to get it going the last couple games. I mean, they only scored 2 goals against Upper Dublin at Upper Dublin. Definitely going to have to settle down and try to answer back.
Yeah, and right here, as you can see, they're taking their time. This is what they need to try and do consistently. The only time they should really be speeding things up is when they know they can get a really, really wide open goal. So right here, slowing things down is really going to help.
As there's a cut to goal! Ben DeVitas cuts in front. He's going to beat the Rams netminder. He'll tie it all up here. 3:55 left in the opening quarter, and we get 2 goals in the span of a minute.
And that was a great job by Ben DeVitas, seeing the crease, getting to the crease that was open, and then just putting it in for an easy goal.
DeVitas will get a much deserved rest there after he really did everything. Even though he lost the faceoff, forced the errant pass, and then goes on the offensive end and gets himself a good goal there. But now we have the faceoff trying to scoop up the ground ball. Looks like there was a check to the head. No call by the officials. Ball is still on the ground. No one yet to scoop it up. Finally scooped up by Quinn McGloin. He loses the ball. Still all over the place. Finally gotten by a Ram defender, but now there's a cross check. We're going to have a flag. Fords will now go man down. Can't have that right there, Max.
Yeah, you can't be fighting for the face-off for that long. It needs to be quick, whether you win or lose, so you can get back on defense or get on offense and set yourself up.
Well, even that, it just kind of looks like that was a frustration move there by Quinn McGloin. He had the ground ball there for a second, lost it, and then ended up just giving a cross-check to the back. You just can't afford to have that, especially when your offense just got the goal. You had a chance to maybe turn some of the momentum. But now here you go. The Fords have not been able to work too well being man down all season. Will now have to go and do it again. here as the Rams will set up.
As I think I see the Fords going to a little bit of a wider zone, in account of being man down.
You usually try to go into what they call a box and one. As there was a rough shot there by number 3, I believe that is Augie Luke. That's just a rough. That was a rough shot there. But usually, when you're man down, you try to go into this thing called a box and one, which is a longer zone. You really just try to stress on who has the balls. There's Luke shot and he buries it. Beat Charlie Turner right off the face, and he elevated, somehow stuck it past the shoulder of Wade DeVitas. Harriton now back with the lead. We got a little bit of a back and forth game here. It'll be 2-1 Rams, 2:54 left in the opening quarter. I didn't know if we were going to get any scoring in the first quarter here, Max. And out of nowhere, we've gotten a lot in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, and that comes on account of both offenses working really hard to break the defenses down. But right here, it's going to come to the face-off with Ben.
Looks like they're motioning for a kick. It'll go to the Rams now, as they will take possession. And now there's going to be a whistle. Looks like there was a timeout called by the Rams. Both teams will now go over. I do want to say, but so far, Max, I mean, we got 2:42 left. About 10 minutes has been played of this game so far in the opening quarter. What did we see out there that we liked from the Fords, and what do they got to do to work on it?
Something we see that we like is the movement of Current Kranick from that X position. His movement, his post moves have been really good, even though he hasn't been really able to capitalize on anything towards the goal. He's been getting in there, getting shots on goal, which really helps the Fords defense to give them a break. And then, as you saw, Ben DeVitas with the goal, that was huge. It was a big morale booster and momentum push, even though we saw Harriton get another goal. But the Fords just got to come back. They gotta go right down and score and try and change the tide of this game.
I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously, this was a tight matchup last year. Fords are expecting it to be. The expectation is that it'll be a tight matchup this year as well. Not much you can really do. There's really no layover game in the Central League. So, you're always going to have to fight the whole 48, and so far these first 9 and change have been pretty good. All I could really say is I gotta be honest, Max. We're in this booth. It's a little hot. We're getting a little steamy in here. Luckily, the sun is gonna set though. We will get some more airflow in. A little less heat.
It's really steamy.
A little steamy in here. This is a great. This is not medical advice. Great way to lose weight though. Just come in this big hot metal box and just close myself in here and just sweat it all out.
It's not a safe way to do it, though.
Not at all. Now, hey, never listen to our medical advice. Anyway, we are back with it now. Rams will start with it. On the offensive end, trying to add to this 1-goal lead. They scored first, and they have scored last so far. Here's the last one coming from Luke right after a man-up opportunity expired, beat Turner, and was able to somehow out-jump Wade DeVitas and sneak it past his shoulder. It was a pretty athletic move there. But here come the Rams now. Trying to set up. There is Luke right there, the last goal scorer. He's going to try to move in. He's now getting double or triple teamed by the Fords. Getting whacked. Pretty good job there. Squeezing on him, making him have to get rid of it.
Yeah, and something you can see about this Harriton team is that they're not that big. They're on the smaller side when it comes to their players.
Definitely, but also, it does not mean that they are not you don't have to be the biggest and the baddest in lacrosse. That was definitely a hit to the face mask of Ellen Rose on that clear attempt No flag, though, from the officials. But, in the game of lacrosse, you don't need to be the biggest, strongest. You can definitely win with size and skill. But that is also something to say here for the fact that this team this defense is being pretty aggressive right now for the Fords. They're able to clamp down, hack on them, and, basically try to make it where, they're going to force some errors is right there. It was a good drawn-up play there. Luke clearly saw that, the Fords defense is starting to give him some special attention because he's able to cut into the front of the net. And after that, he dished it off to whoever was playing the X position. And then after that, they had a cutting ram, but he just dropped the pass. Did not work. But here come the Fords. As they have touched, here's DeVitas with it now. Over to Nick McKendry. He'll feed it over to Liam Taylor. He's coming in. Shot, and he scores! Liam Taylor gets it to go. Bouncing off of body checks. Gets it to go. Great job by Liam Taylor there, the freshman. Obviously, Max, you just said some of these Harriton players look a little bit on the lighter side. And Taylor just took him to the weight room right there on the way to the net.
Yeah, and that with Harriton being on the smaller side, that's something that the Fords are going to want to try and exploit, being able to body up some of these players and really, really just overpower them.
Here as we have the face-off taken now, here is DeVitas. It is lost again here. Number 8, Lucas Hag wins it, but now there's a loose ball scrammed around. Haverford will retain possession. McKendry beats it out. 29.6 left in the opening quarter. It is 2-2. Fords and Rams all knotted up here. As now we have McNichol with it. McNichol looking. Searching around. Tried to have a pass. Stick got in the way of that. As now they're going to give it to DeVitas. DeVitas already has one. He scored first here for the Fords. Now we have McNichol. He's been hungry. He's been taking shots. He's beating traffic. Shot! Oh, he lost the ball. And that will end the first quarter of play. After that, it is the visiting Rams from Harriton 2 and your own Haverford Fords 2 here. We're all knotted up here. 12 more minutes left in this first half. Max, that was a lot of action we had just saw there. It was a little slow to start, but fast action here towards the end of the first quarter. Recap it a little bit for us. What did we see there that was interesting that we could look at for the rest of this one?
Well, I saw, especially on offense for the Fords, they came out hot. They just started firing shots in. They really didn't stop, which then started to break down this Harriton defense. And then on our defensive side, we saw a couple times we broke down, especially when Charlie Turner got beat right off the side. And then, but at the same time, we've been really good with our checks. I know we had the one penalty where we went man down for the cross check, but other than that, we've been really good, really disciplined. So those are a couple things to keep an eye on. And then with Harriton, their offense is red hot right now. I mean, they show, but either offenses show no signs of stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, it'll definitely be one. It'll be a fun one to see here. But something that I should say is, it really looks like Harriton's offense is run by number 3, Augie Luck. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm trying to read it off a shattered phone screen. That's on me. But I apologize if I'm butchering the last name. But Augie Luck really seems to be the one. He's able to cut towards the front of the net, create some havoc. And, besides that, they've done a pretty good job owning the face-off circle as well. Whether it's been DeVitas or Taylor, it's been Finnerty been able to really assert his dominance and just create more.
Yeah, and the offense all comes from the face-off. If you win it, it gives you a higher chance at getting a good offensive possession.
Here as the face-off again, ball is on the ground, picked up by Harriton. The Rams now stuck in their own end. They'll have to move it Here's now we get this pressure. And there really does not seem to be much going on here. But they're finally able to clear. Looked like there was an errant pass scrolling towards the out of bounds. And Haverford beats it out. The Fords will retain possession there. I saw Nils McCallion over there pressuring a long pull for the Rams. Pretty good job by the freshman there. Being a little instinctive. Forcing rash and rushed decisions.
Yeah, and all this play is going to come from how well the younger guys on the team can step up.
Yes, it'll definitely be interesting here. Is now the Fords set up. Kranick with the ball behind the net. He's looking. Kranick gives it over to DeVitas. DeVitas already having one. Gives it over to McCallion. McCallion had a very good look in the first quarter. Was not able to capitalize on it. He'll give it over to Christos McKendry. Then over to his brother, Nick McKendry. And there's Brendan McNichol now trying to go towards. He lost it, though. Good stick check by the Rams there. It was number 11, Tommy Gallagher. Doing a great job. But now here come the Rams. They're going to have to try to clear here. Fords have done a decent job here at forcing pressure on these Rams long pulls here. As it doesn't seem like they're great passers. As there's Gallagher now. Just had the check. He'll give it over to the Rams to start their offense. It'll go to Bradley Fagan. And they'll start from there. As there's Mason DeMarco. With it now. Over to short. Back to DeMarco. And really not much going for the Rams right now. It really looks like most of their stuff is, most of their offensive work is good with the use of the wings. Doesn't really seem like any of the top 2 or 3, up at the top of the box are really able to find any penetration. And the X is just good at playing the games with the wings there. So it'll be interesting to see what Harriton tries to draw up. Maybe they'll try to look at some pick plays, maybe. Try to get this Haverford team to bite. And then go from there. But there's Luck right there. He'll give it over to his teammate at the X position. Back over to Fagan. Over to Gallagher. Back over to Luck. Back over to Gallagher. Now we're getting a cut here. There is a flag thrown. And Harriton will go back to the man up. There's a shot stuffed by Wade DeVitas. Great opportunity there for Will Short. Got absolutely denied by Wade DeVitas. Doesn't matter that they said a hit to the head on Dylan Clark. I mean, it was the right call, but they have not been calling that at all tonight, Max. So it was interesting to see that's the one that gets called.
Yeah, we saw that a couple of times earlier.
Especially during like clears, we saw some checks to the head.
Yeah, there was an obvious one there earlier on a clear with Owen Rose. He got absolutely rocked in the head, and they didn't do anything.
It is what it is, though. Sometimes they're easier to see than others. But here we go now. However, back down to their box and one. Great job there by Charlie Turner, who was able to force the ball loose, and he'll give it over to Wade DeVitas now. Here come the Fords trying to clear. He'll give it over to Keith Heinrichs. Now he's going to go for this. He's going to spin. And now he's just going to take it on his own. He'll feed it over to Kranick. Touching the box. Thought the Fords might try to run there for a second. They decided to just keep place. Try to drain out the rest of this man-down possession, which is coming to a close. Here's we are under 8 minutes left in the first half. Score still tied up 2-2. Fords and the Rams. In a pivotal game, this is a chance here for the Fords. They just had a rough start to the season. They were sitting at 2-5. Playing a 4-3 Rams team. So it'll be interesting to see what they go here. Taylor scored one of the goals here for the Fords. Tries to give it over to to McCallion. Did not work, though. Great cut there by McCallion. Just a little bit behind was the pass from Taylor now. Here come the Rams. trying to clear. Not seeing much here. I'm not seeing much from these long pulls here. As there is Finn Adams was stuck. And there it is. It took too long to clear. Here comes Kranick now. He's going to just try to go towards the net. He's going to pass it over to McKendry. He rips it just wide. And the Fords will retain possession now, but right there, good job by the Fords. Maintain pressure. Kranick went to run with it. And the Fords got a good opportunity there. Attackman playing pretty good pressure on attempted clears here by the Rams.
Yeah, and it's this game is just going to rely on the all-around effort that everybody gives. It can't just be one guy on the offensive end and one guy on the defense. It's going to have to be every single guy that touches the field is going to have to contribute in any way possible.
As there's McNichol. He tries to sky over. Did not work. Believe the Fords beat out the shot, though, as we will go on from there. Again, I'm really liking this aggressive approach here by the Fords offense. They're just not able to get these balls in the net.
Yeah, and the constant aggression is going to make the Harriton defense break down, and then the Fords are just going to have to capitalize on an opening they get at any time, and it could come when the Fords least expect it.
As Taylor right there tried to move, got the sneak double. He even lost his stick. He's able to regain it, though. Now here come the Rams again, trying to clear. Here comes Adams. Look, he'll finally give it over to a midi. And now he's just running hog wild with it. That's Mason DeMarco. He really couldn't find much there. Again, this Harriton team, you said it, Max, earlier, and it really is true. There's some of these kids, they look a little bit on the lighter, shorter, smaller end. As there's a shot saved by DeVitas. Good attempt there by Fagan. Did not matter, though. Wade DeVitas was able to stuff it out. As McGloin will give it over to the Fords netminder. Now over to Charlie Turner as the Fords try to clear here. Turner now looking to try to take it on his own. Did not work. He lost the ball. Got to watch here if the Rams get numbers. Good stick check again by Turner. This ball is still loose. Picked up there by the Rams now. Now DeMarco will settle with it here for the Rams. They're going to try to push here. They're trying to drive him McGloin. That's luck already. He has one. He's given a lot of good opportunities here. He faked the pass. Absolutely fooled everyone, including me. But except for Wade DeVitas, actually. He was able to stay home. Forced luck to pass it out. We'll go from there. 4:40 left in the second quarter. No goals yet. As here's a shot saved by DeVitas. He gets a foot on it. As that Ram is absolutely crushed right there. Fagan clearly realized you can't just cut towards the Ford's net and not get a little bit of punishment.
Yeah, Wade DeVitas is really, really good in the goal, and he's one of the most consistent players on this Ford's team. So
yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. Great job there by DeVitas. He started to get tested a little bit, and he was able to make it out and help out there. You know, really able to stay home and help out. Also, though, it was really interesting. Luck had a great move there on Quinn McGloin. Really had him lost. He had me lost. I thought he passed it out. He stayed there on the wings. That's something this Ford's team's definitely been giving extra attention to Luck, but I think they're going to have to do it a little bit more here for the rest of this game, because he just kind of seems like that one player that once he gets it on and he sees a couple of his own get in the net, he's just going to continue to go, and he might get hot, and it could be a scary thing for the Fords.
yeah, Luck is gonna be the guy that they're gonna have to give extra attention to, whether it's doubling or they pull a man back so they can watch him. That's gonna be one of the guys they're gonna have to watch.
Absolutely. Here, I believe we get the Fords on the defensive end. The Rams will take it in. But before we get to the last 4:30 here of the first half, we just want to take a quick second thank our longest sponsors from Wagner Real Estate. Are you looking for a new house? Wagner Real Estate will help you find the right home for you and your family. The real estate professionals at Wagner are Havertown locals. Max have been doing this thing for 4 generations. And so obviously, they know what they're doing. They're great. We have Luck trying to get a shot. Does not work. Rams are backing it up, though. But yeah, 4 generations, Max. That's a long time.
What is it? It's your
Real estate. That's you, your dad, your grandfather, your great-grandfather. It's a long time.
It's a very long time. I don't even.
So I remember before or during spring break, someone said 1800s. Not 1800s, but early 1900s, definitely. But yeah, so they've done it a long time. They know what they're doing here. Is the Rams are really trying to put some pressure on. But yes, so please, if you're looking for a new house, please call 610-446-2300 to set up a consultation with Wagner Real Estate today. Thank you to Wagner Real Estate and all that you do to help us out here at Haverford Sports Media. As here come the Rams. I got to be honest, it kind of feels like it's been 4 generations since we've seen a goal, Max. Great defense, bend but don't break defense done, especially by this Fords team here in the later half of this second quarter. Rams have had constant pressure. Ford's been able to stay home and do pretty well. And besides that, Wade DeVitas has had to stand on his head a couple times, and he's done just that.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, Wade DeVitas is probably the most consistent player on this team. He plays amazing day in and day out. You have to just give a lot of props to Wade.
As there is now another ground ball loose. No one knows where it's going. Finally over the line. And it'll finally be scooped up, this time by Nick McKendry. I believe there is a timeout called by the Fords. They will keep possession here for starting with the last 2:39 of this first half. Max, that's something that I've seen here. Honestly. The ground ball battle's been very sloppy. The ground ball play's been very sloppy, and it's been pretty close.
Yeah, and we've said this in other broadcasts. One of the things that the Fords struggle the most with is their ground balls. But in recently they have worked on it. They've gotten better at it. So I think that the Fords just need to calm down, take their time, and they just need to hone in and focus on what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I definitely see that, Max. But besides that, I gotta be honest. We said the defense was shorthanded, right? For the first 7 games of the season. Or, for my fault, the last 3 or 4 games. They get Quinn McGloin back here. This is the first time we're seeing him back after his unfortunate injury. They're playing pretty good defense right now. Knock on wood, whatever superstition you want to do to make sure I'm not doing the announcer's jinx, but they've been locking down so far. I mean, it's really just been luck from the Rams doing whatever doing his thing, but the defense has done a pretty good job. Good communication, really locking it down. And besides that, anytime that, the defense makes a little mistake, Wade DeVitas is up there, to make sure he's got his boys' backs. So, little tip to the cap to the Fords defense so far. They've done a pretty good job keeping this thing manageable, especially since in that last bit of the second quarter, there was a lot of Ram pressure, but not a single goal allowed. Now we have the Fords. Maybe they can try to do a little bit of what Harriton did, except put one in here. As we have Kranig with it now behind the net. Getting a pick from Taylor. He's looking. He slips, loses the ball on the ground still. Now it looks like there's a little bit of a tussle. Picked up finally by Nick McKendry. He tried to pass it over to McNichol. It was tipped. Now it is over the 50-yard line, and Harriton will now get it. Can't have that if you're the Fords. This defense just fought tooth and nail for a long time. Now they have to go right back to it. As now there's under 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
And as you saw, Kranig slipping there. It's not. That's something that's going to happen. And what's got to happen is the Fords just need to. They just need to be able to get back from that and not lose it here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they're able to do as we have Gallagher with it right now behind the net. gives it over to Fagan. He's going to hold it right now. Guarded by Dylan Clark. Quinn McGloin deciding to be on Gallagher right now. There's Luck. Guarded by Turner. He's asking for it now. I think he might like that matchup. He already has beaten Turner once today. We'll see what he does here. He's trying to drive in. Turner's doing a pretty good job at denying. I don't know which hand. Is that his left hand? I think he's denying his left hand. But there's a shot, and he snipes it. Just like that. Augie Luck gets his second of the night. He makes it 3-2 here. 49.5 left in the first half. My goodness, Max, that was an absolute rip.
Yeah, I think Charlie Turner just needs to play him head up and not try and deny one way, because then that's what gave him the wide open look at the goal.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens there. But anyway, you got to keep that in the past. As now here's a face-off. Loose ball. Not scooped up yet by the Fords. Still not scooped up yet by the Fords. Now, I think they're finally going to give the possession to Haverford. Now they're going to have to clear here. No, that was a rough look there at the ground balls. There was 3 misses right there. As now we have someone lost. Shot! Saved by DeVitas! Luck gets denied. Great job there by Wade DeVitas. The middies right now for the Fords just absolutely crumbling. I don't see much. They're finally going to give Haverford the possession again, but right now these checks by Harriton, they're just laying it on the Fords.
Yeah, and the Fords just need to be able to keep control of the ball and just keep their composure when they're under pressure.
Now we have McNichol with it. He'll give it over to Nick McKendry. Over to DeVitas. DeVitas and Taylor, the 2 goal scorers here for the Fords. See if DeVitas wants it now. We're down to 5 seconds. He has a rip just over the net. We have 3.3 left. And the Fords will have it. Be interesting to see what the Fords try to draw up here. McNichol wanted it. Pass was deflected. Does not matter now. That will be the end of the first half. After 2 quarters of play, we get 1 goal in the second quarter, Max. That went to the Harriton Rams. It is now 3-2 Harriton with the lead going into the first half. We have a tight game. We have a low-scoring game, Max. What do the Fords got to do here in the next 24 minutes to get a win? Obviously, it's not going to be easy, and this game is far from over, and I don't even think there's really any momentum to swing one team's way or the other. But I believe Harriton would have it now.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to the defense here. They're going to have to step up, and then they're going to have to be able to get themselves off the defensive end, and then the offense is going to have to keep the defense off the defensive end so they can get a break, which they really haven't gotten recently. So it's going to come down to both sides of the ball and what they can do for each other.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a big thing to say there. Coaches are talking to their respective teams. The officials are getting some refreshment, going over some of these second half things. I got to be honest, I think it's going to be ground balls and the clears. I think whatever team's going to be able to hold their water the most on the clear and pick up the most ground balls, this is going to be the one that wins this game.
Yeah, that's most likely. You're most likely right, Tommy. The ground balls is what Haverford's been struggling with the most. Same with Harriton, because I mean, as you've seen it, both teams, when the ball gets on the ground, all they start doing is just kicking it around. Yeah,
or they're not able to pick it up too well. But I mean, right now, if you're the Fords, you're 2-5. This is a winnable game. You have a chance here where you can start to rip off some wins and gain some confidence. And you're there right now. At this point, you're down by 1. It's a low-scoring, kind of ugly game, kind of like that Unionville game that we opened up the season with. Now you got to see who's going to lead, who's going to be the one to step up in a big moment and provide for the team. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get some fresh air. It's a little hot in here, Max, a little steamy. We got about 8 minutes before the second half action. We'll be back shortly. For Tommy Toole and Max Capello, Haverford Sports Media, thank you for tuning in. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at it here for second half action between the Harriton Rams and your Haverford Fords in a big matchup. Huge second half here. The Fords want to try to start to turn the tide of their season here. Max, what is one person we're looking at here in the second half that we think is going to be the reason why the Fords can come in, which has been an ugly, low-scoring, tough game, and help eke out a W here?
Kern Kranick. He has been very aggressive on the offensive side, and I expect that to be a constant through this whole second half.
Here as we have the face-off, and it looks like it'll go to the Rams again. And there we go. Rams, I guess technically they win the face-off. They had the possession. Now they have to clear it as the Fords look to get set up here. There's a clear attempt. Good checking there by the long pole. Did not work, though. Does not matter. Here come the Rams on the offensive now. That was Finnerty with it. And now the Rams will settle up. It's really been interesting to see how Haig has been able to just do whatever he wants in the face-off circle so far against this Fords team, no matter if it's DeVitas or Taylor. That is definitely going to be a storyline for the rest of this one. Here's Finnerty right now, just holding it. Now he's finally going to get a little action from Keith Heinrichs. He'll pass it over to DeMarco, and the Fords will go. Here as the Rams still trying to find something. Not much going. Finnerty with it. Can't find much. He's trying to drive. Pretty good job right now by Keith Heinrich, staying on top. Not allowing any leverage here for Finnerty. Now he's going to try to drive towards the net. He's going to loop around. Now Chuck Turner has him. Again, Finnerty just holding on to it right now. He'll finally give it away. Go over to Will Short. Now back to DeMarco as the Rams will settle back down. Basically, this is how the scoring went, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a teeter-totter affair so far. Rams scored first. Fords answered. Rams scored again. Fords answered. Rams got the lone goal in the second quarter, and now it's 3-2. As there is a failed clear there. Dylan Clark got his pass intercepted. Now Harriton trying to find a person to give it to. We have another loose ball here. Now they're going to say there is a push on the Fords. Good job by Bradley Fagan to hold his ground there for the Rams as Harriton will start it up. Also, player to look for. There's a save by Wade DeVitas. Is Augie Luck of the Rams. As he has 2 goals of his own, he's created a lot of opportunities here for this Rams team. As now we have a clear attempt here. Finally, DeVitas is able to clear it. Now he's going to touch in the box. And the Fords will get set up for their first offensive trip in the first half. Here, Max Capello's player to watch in the second half. Kern Kranick with it right now.
I would also like to add on to that. Another player is Ben DeVitas, as he has one of the 2 goals here. As you see constantly when he has the ball, he's probably one of the faster players on the field and can just blow by other people to get the score.
As he tries to do that right there. Doesn't work, though. He'll pass it up. Shot! Save! Brendan McNichol was the one cutting. Looked like he might have got checked from behind. Does not matter, though. He gets denied by Owen Huntington. Great look there for the Fords. Great shot by McNichol. Just wasn't able to answer. Wasn't able to put it away, which is something that's kind of been happening the whole entire game so far for the Fords. So here's a ground ball picked up by Luck. Who else for the Rams? As now Harriton back on the offensive end here. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Harriton just trying to set it up now. They're going to give it over to Sean Finnerty. Finnerty guarded by Heinrichs. The battle of the fours here. Heinrichs tried to drop it. Does not matter. Finnerty shot and he buries it. And there's a flag. It'll make it 4-2. Harriton on top. Finnerty beats the aggressive Keith Heinrichs with the flag as well. I'm wondering if there will be a man down now for the Fords as well. 7:36 left in the third quarter. And it does look like that. It looks like the Fords will go man down. It looks like it's on Keith Heinrichs. I'm assuming what they called is a slash. And the Fords will go from there. Finally, DeVitas will win the face-off there. Did not go up against Haig. At this time, he went up against Contract. And now the Fords will try to get set up. There's Liam Taylor, one of the two goal scorers. He shoots! Saved by Huntington. Great look there for the freshman. Again, just couldn't bury it. Huntington's been standing on it. He's been making great saves since the beginning on this Fords offense, Max.
Yeah, here it's going to take a little bit more deceptiveness. I mean, Liam Taylor's going to have to put a little bit more on that. He can't be as predictable because you could see, I mean, the goalie could see it from a mile away that he was going to come in and shoot. He needs to give him a little fake so it gives Liam a better chance at a score.
Yeah, either way, though, it does not matter. Freshman's shown up big before. He had the game-winning goal in the first of their only 2 wins so far in the season. Now we have Luck right here, guarded by Quinn McGloin. He does a pretty good job on the shifty offensive player here for the Rams. I believe he's an attackman. Here's the Rams are going to feed it back to Luck. He and his teammate will play a game of catch here. And he'll go from there. By the way, just a little note to add. Looks like Luck has beaten Turner on both times. That was a shot. Went towards the side of the net. A little wide there. Shot was by Pierce Merrill. Shot went a little wide. And now the Fords will try to keep possession. McNichol gets this one poked away from him. And again, a clear does not go the Fords' way. Here come the Rams again. They're already up 2. They've been holding possession on the offensive end a lot so far. Looking to try to extend this lead.
Yeah, the Fords defense they just need to step up here. Get a quick stop. Then we need to go on the offensive end. The offense needs to do their job, give our defense a break, which they haven't had a lot of. And then we need to just go down and score.
There's a shot. Looked like it went off the toe of DeVitas. Rams will keep possession there. But, I mean, as of now, not much you can say against the defense. They've done a pretty good job so far, Max. But the inability to clear has led to more sustained pressure for this Rams offense. And Wade DeVitas can't save them all.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. The Fords should be trying to do against this Harriton goalie. They just need to keep the pressure on because you can't save every shot. It's arguably impossible.
I think what we are seeing right now is capitalizing on opportunities right now. It seems like Harriton has capitalized on more opportunities than the Fords have. And it's starting to cost them, especially since this is a low-scoring, tight game. Here's Ram player, tries to cut in, loose ball, still not being able to be scooped up. Bodies hit the floor. Ball is still not possessed by anybody. And finally picked up by the Rams. They're going to play a little 2-man game. They're going to have to watch out for this shot, and they score! Number 19, Will Short, buries it home. That'll make it 5-2 Rams. 4:03 left. Not what you wanted there, Max. Lots of fighting, lots of heart, but again, weren't able to pick up the ground ball. It all started from a failed clear, and right there, miscommunication. They leave a wide open shot opportunity. Rams execute on it.
And yeah, that's the story for this whole game. The not being able to feel the ground ball or successfully get a clear. So the Fords offense and defense both need to step up here. It's not just one side.
Here, as the Fords win the face-off, Rose couldn't get the ground ball, but here comes Kranick now. He shoots, and it just hit off the pipe. Huntington was close with it. Now there's a ground ball, and they're going to say the Fords keep possession. Harriton coaches and sideline are incensed. I think they're going to have to worry and make sure they don't get penalized here. Freaking out a lot here for something that isn't too deep. 5-3 game, 3:45 left in the third quarter here. Nick McKendry will start it up here for the Fords. Here's a big opportunity right now for this Fords team. Offense has been a little dormant recently. Not been able to score a lot. They struggled a little bit. Here's a chance for them to narrow the deficit and maybe try to build some momentum. As there's Taylor. He's going to give it over to McKendry. McKendry looks. Shot! Saved by Huntington. He's been looking them in easy right now so far. Ford's really doing some long-distance shots. And this Harriton goalie has really been able to just look them in. As Huntington going to try to go with the clear. It will work right now. As they're short, he just scored the last one for the Rams. He's starting to feel himself a little bit. Touches in the box. He'll set up and go from there. Right now, you kind of see some of the Fords coaches talking to Nick McKendry saying, look, that seemed to be a little bit more of a rushed shot than anything. And trying to coach him up on what to do next time.
Yeah, the Fords need to, instead of taking long shots just to start scoring, they need to get inside and get pressure in the crease. And the best way to do that is Curran Kranick. That's where he works the best, posting up right by the goal, and then getting a shot off a spin.
Yeah, I mean, like, besides that, they had a great executed play right there when McNichol was driving towards the front of the net, and, like, he just got beat by Huntington. He just made a great play, a great save, but, besides that, the Fords got to continue to do more plays like that, and it'll work out there. As now here come the Fords trying to run. DeVitas was giving it over to Taylor. Taylor has one of the two goals here for the Fords. He's driving, he's looking. Tried to pass it over to Nick McKendry. Did not work, though. There's a turnover. There's a costly one right there, Max. Can't have it.
Yeah, you need to be able to successfully execute your clears, because that's what'll give you your offense. That's what'll give you your offensive production off of a defensive stop.
Well, it's not even just the clear but it's the fact that it was an offensive turnover right now. Puts more stress on this defense again. As there's a shot saved by DeVitas, and it looks like they're going to say a Rams player was in the crease. The Fords will get the possession again. As there goes DeVitas, he'll give it over to Keith Heinrichs. And now he's going to pass it back. Trying to give it over to Ben DeVitas. That'll work. He'll give it over to McNichol, and here come the Fords now. Fords have a chance to touch it in the box. McNichol's been dropping the ball all day long so far. Ball rolls out of bounds, and I believe they are giving it to the Rams. Fords sideline, not a big fan of that one either. But it does not matter. Here come the Rams now trying to clear on this end. Remember what I said at the half? I said the team that'll clear the best and get the more ground balls is probably going to be the one that wins this. And so far, that's really looks like what it is. That had to have been an offsides. And it looks like that's exactly what happened there. The officials made the offside call. And the Fords now have a chance here. I mean, they haven't scored in almost 2 quarters right now, Max. They need something here. They at least need a very good opportunity. Maybe spring some life into this Fords team. And there comes DeVitas. He cut across. Errant pass. Tried to feed it over to Owen Rose. It did not work. Another turnover. Harriton will have a chance on the clear. Again, too many mental mistakes right now for the Fords. It's killing them.
Yeah, and coming off of off sides, you needed to score there to change the tide of the game, and that's just it sucks because that was a big opportunity for the Fords.
Here's now the Rams looking to maybe try to get something going on for them. There was a loose ball, no Ford in sight, still on the ground, finally picked up by the Rams. Now there's an errant pass. They're waiting for it to scoop up. Still kept in. Finally picked up by Jack Gallagher. Now here come the Rams trying to get one off before the buzzer. There is a pass. Off shot, no way. Anywhere near. Little rush there. And after 3, it'll be 5-3 Rams. Or my fault, 5-2. After 3, it is 5-2. 3-goal deficit here for the Fords. Max, this Fords offense hasn't been able to do anything. They haven't been able to score since towards the end of the first quarter. If you are Coach Era, what are you telling the guys right now to make sure they snap into it and step? Because this is such a winnable game. You're seeing it right now. This Harriton team was anything like the first 7 teams they played. I think this lead would be way bigger than it is. So what do the Fords need to do here at this point to make sure they fight their way back into it in these last 12 minutes of regulation?
They need to get an offensive push. They need to give their defense a break so the defense can calm down, assess what they want to try and do on the defensive side, and then get back to work after a score. That's the one thing we need to score so we can stay in the game.
I mean that's always what you want to do, but it'll be interesting to see here. The Fords really have just been dormant on the offensive end. I mean, we can talk about the first 7 games. They haven't scored more than 8 goals. The most goals they've scored this season yet is 8. They're only at 2. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, both in the games they had won, they scored 6 and they scored 7. In the Pencrest game, which was their next closest, they scored 8, which they only lost by 2 to now the team that is ranked first in District 1 2A. But, at this point, what they got to do, they just got to try to pester. Anytime that there's I think that's the other thing. There's not enough, or it's not executed enough, is the press and the pressure. Like, we had Nils McCallion in the first half pressuring some of these long pulls from the Rams, and it was leading to, it was leading to more turnovers, which meant for the Rams, which meant more offensive pressure there for the Fords. I'm just not seeing that executed to the best extent right now. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe they go to the drawing board and the coaches try to tell them, listen, this is what we want to do whenever they have a chance to clear. Hopefully they don't clear because you're so efficient on the offensive end. You start scoring, but it'll be interesting to see here. 12 minutes. Again, no reason for them to hang their heads. But your back is up against the wall at this point right now. You could be 3-5 or you could be 2-6. And I think you'd rather be 3-5 than 2-6.
Yeah, and as you can see right here, with this huddle, they're all together. Usually they split up into offense and defense, and then the respective offensive defensive coach, they talk to the sides. But here, I think this is like, yeah, we need to get together, and this is a team game. We can't do it. No one can do it by themselves, and then we need to give each other a break when it's necessary.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see here. Definitely a lot to go towards. But that's really it here. You got 12 minutes left of regulation. If you have a chance, you can force overtime. But you don't even want to think about that right now. Right now, you just want to take it step by step, and that starts with Ben DeVitas winning this faceoff. As the ball is loose, and this has not happened yet. DeVitas finally scoops up the ground ball, and here come the Fords getting the chance on offense here in the fourth quarter. DeVitas has one of the 2 goals for the Fords right now. He's going to set back, take a field. Looks like Liam Taylor right now holding for the Fords. Remember, another thing here, since it is such a low-scoring game and kind of slow-moving for both offenses, time is not really on the Fords' favor, considering they've scored 2 in 36 minutes, and they need to score at least 3 in 12. Here's now McKendry with it. Over to Taylor. Taylor back to Nick McKendry. And we'll see McNichol with it now. Back over to Liam Taylor. He's looking. Give it over to Nick McKendry. Over to Kranick. Kranick looking. Trying to turn. Kind of got lost. Ball is on the ground. Still loose. Could be picked up. Finally scooped up by Kranick here. Now he's got to hold on to it. He'll give it over to Nick McKendry. And the Fords will keep possession. There is a pass. I don't know where it is. Lost now. And there goes the Rams. Looks like they were trying to get Nils McCallion in at the end there, and it just did not work at all. It looks like he almost looks like he can't really catch a pass right now. And another good look, but no execution there by the Fords.
Yeah, and they keep getting these good looks, but they start to be just careless with their with how they're playing. I mean, Nils McCallion's open in the crease, I want to say, about 40% of the time. And it could be an easy goal, but careless passes and trying to get the goal before you even get the ball is what's going to hurt you.
Yeah, it definitely is here. Right now we have good defensive play right now by Charlie Turner. He might have just lost the angle, though. There's a pass. Doesn't matter. Flag is thrown. There's a big hit on the side of the play. Now the Rams are just going to hold. The Fords will go man down again. That's just a careless. That's a mistake you just can't have, especially at this point in the game right now, Max.
Yeah, a play like that where in this point you're trying to make a comeback to get back into the game. You can't cross check a guy like that. That's a selfish play, and that's something that the Fords need to just start thinking about. They need to start being selfless instead of selfish.
Definitely something they could do. Now here we have the end of the play there. The Fords will go man down now. Big start here. As I believe it is going to be number 18, Ryan Vieira. He just came in careless at the end of that play. The ball was already way gone. He did not need to lay the hit that he did there. Obviously he'll learn because he is a little less experienced on the varsity field. Here we go now. Rams with it here. Big stand here for the Fords if they are able to get a stop. Have to get something going. Get a defensive stop and maybe try to get some offense. Rams right now, clear. I mean, obviously, if you're the Rams, you are feeling pretty comfortable in the position you are in. You're up 3. You have the man up right now. You've been able to kind of score at will more than the Fords have. You've been able to get pretty good opportunities. And time is on your side right now. So at this point, you're just going to try to hold and not force anything until you get the best possible look. And right now, that's literally what's just happening right now. The Rams are just going to play around, pass it up. Not a whole lot of real offensive pressure being put on right now by the Rams, which is interesting. I guess the Fords, as their man down, are just going to wait until they have a chance to, when they're back even, to maybe try to put some pressure and force a mistake. There's a shot and a goal. They finally lock it up, and that's going to be Sean Finnerty. He gets his second. Luck and Finnerty really been carrying this attack here for the Rams. That'll make it 6-2, 7-28 left. Not what you want right now if you're the Fords.
Not at all. And this is what's going to hurt them. The fact that they can't produce on offense and they can't get a stop on defense. The defense early was great. They were playing great defense early, and it's just started to break down late in the game.
There, as now we have another face-off win. Hag wins it again there for the Rams. I'm really not seeing much from this offensive end from the Fords. And it's got to be a little concerning right now. Here's now, we have under 7 minutes left. There's a pass, shot, and another goal. And there's a flag thrown. I believe that's going to be Luke. He gets his third finally. Again, not much you can do there if you're Wade DeVitas when the defense hangs you out to dry, and not much on the defensive end if you've been playing defense almost the entirety of the 48 minutes.
Yeah, the defense hasn't. It's not even the defense. It's the offense hasn't given the defense a break. It seems like when they get the ball, they seem to just not be able to hold on to it. The offense needs to get pressure so the defense can take time to get a break, and Wade shouldn't have to be under pressure for the whole game.
And it looks like Charlie Turner takes a penalty. The Fords will be man down here. Not something you really want with 7 minutes left as you're down by 5 now. It is 7-2. Rams on top of the Fords. Now we have a timeout taken by the Fords here. They're going to have to reconvene. All momentum is now officially on the Rams side here, and time is not your friend at all if you're the Fords. You were only down by 3. Now you're down by 5. What are the Fords? What can we get here from the Fords to maybe get just a little bit of life?
We can't be taking long shots. The Fords need to get up close, get in their face, start getting down, get gritty, and score. Ben's got to win the face-off. They got to score. Then he's got to win it again, and they got to score. It's going to have to be quick, like back-to-back. So the Fords can't take any time off on defense, really, or on offense. They can't take any time off on offense because then that'll hurt them on the defensive side of things, because then it doesn't give their defense a break.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if you're the defense for this Fords team, I think you got to be a little bit frustrated in the fact that there has not been much offensive pressure put on at all. And I get I'm not going to say, but it's just the offense as a whole, and that's not really excluding, that's not really singling anyone out, but it's hard when you can't clear, or it's hard when the second you get it out of your side of the field, when you get it out of your half of the field, one of your middies drops a pass or has an errant pass to an attackman or another middie, and then you just go, all right, now we got to run. The middie and everybody. At that point, the middies are just running themselves in the ground with the little mental mistakes. Even when you have anything set on the offensive end, you're not doing great because you're not able to finish. Again, hats off to Huntington. I think he's had a great night. I think, what I kind of alluded to early in the game kind of came true a little bit, Max, where they were aggressive with shots, but they weren't the best opportunities, and it kind of let Huntington just kind of sit back and be able to, lock in and, kind of get into his A game.
Yeah, I mean, taking shots, sitting far back and taking a shot gives Huntington time to see the ball see the ball into the net and cover it. So being able to be a guy like Kern Kranick and take it into the crease himself and post up and not let Huntington get an eye on it so fast is something that should really help if they want to score.
Here's now the Fords are finally done with the man down. Here as Kranik with it now, looking for something. Can't really find anything. We got less than 6 minutes now. Fords are down 5. Now there's Taylor. Taylor looking. He'll give it over to McNichol. McNichol back over to DeVitas. DeVitas may be trying to run in. He'll shoot just off the top of the stick of Huntington. And it looks like the Rams will beat out the shot. That'll give Harriton the ball. Not what you want right now if you're the Fords. There's not much you can really say. Huntington's absolutely locked in right now, and Fords aren't getting much. And here comes a clear from the Rams, and it works. Now they just got a touch in the box. Now he's just going to try to loft up a pass. Now it's loose. Finally, no, it's not picked up by Dylan Clark. Finally picked up by Dylan Clark. And he got pushed out of bounds. Harriton will keep possession. This is literally what we've been talking about the whole entire game, Max. Can't clear. Can't pick up a ground ball. You can't capitalize on the offensive end. You're playing way too much defense. There comes Harriton. Here's now they're going to run this pressure. Another ground ball. Not a lot of run. As now the Rams at this point are just going to try to hold the ball. You got less than 4.5 minutes now. Now we have Wade DeVitas all the way out here. I mean, they are literally just... The Fords are just going to try to throw the kitchen sink at the Rams now at this point. And now we're going to see Wade DeVitas try to do his best defensive impression. He's doing a pretty good job right there, stick checking. Now he's going to have to run all the way back to the net. And he'll cover up now. I mean, I like the move. It's not really getting executed that well right now from the Fords. But besides that, I don't understand why you don't maybe try this earlier in the game.
It's more about trying to trust your offense, and now that they're down by so much so late, they gotta try whatever they can to get back.
Well, and that's also another reason right there. Aiden Gallagher is able to get a pretty good goal. He beats his man. I mean, great hustle by Wade DeVitas. He's absolutely playing his heart out, and it looks like they're going to take him out. It looks like that we're going to get senior Jonas Ziga in here for the last 3:25. Hats off to Wade DeVitas. This is just a pull to make sure they get a senior who's done, he's shown up every day and done the work in a game that basically at this point is already decided. Try to get him some time, but I mean, he's playing his heart out right now. I mean, the whole, hats off to Wade DeVitas. But again, here we go. Ground ball not being able to be picked up. All around. Finally scooped up there by the Rams. Over to Huntington. Long clear, able to be picked up. I mean, that's the other thing, too, is that, the netminder for the Rams, Owen Huntington, he's done a very good job. He was able to lock in, set up, do his things, and it just didn't end up, there wasn't enough sustained pressure here for the Fords. It ended up being too much in the end. So after this, the Fords will drop to 2-6 on the year. Harriton will go to 5-3. Fords again here. Their schedule is still favorable, Max. They don't have, a lot of heavyweights, but Perk Valley, who is, it's still a respectable team. Strathaven, a team kind of built like this Harriton team a little bit. Then they'll run into a very good Springfield team. They'll have to travel to Ridley to play Ridley. They get Marple here, who is a very talented team. Go to Lower Marion and play a Lower Marion team that they beat in a nail-biter last year on senior night. They'll play a Garnet Valley team that went to the state championship against Radnor last year, but they were very senior heavy, lost a lot of their seniors. Now they are only 4-4. And they get Hatboro, Horsham, Upper Darby, and then end their season at Council Rock South. Looks like we may have gotten an unsportsmanlike conduct or an illegal hit here. We have 2:02 left in this game. 8-2 Rams lead. I mean, right now, this one's just... This is one that slipped from the Fords, I would say, Max.
Yeah, and right now they just need to take this into the weekend, and then come back, go to practice, watch film, make sure they see what they did wrong, correct it, and then they need to come back and make a push.
Yeah, well, I mean, it starts on Saturday. They'll play Perkiomen Valley at Perkiomen Valley, a nice little trek. I'm assuming that's either going to be a late morning, early afternoon tilt for the boys. And then, they'll go from there. After that, it's off to Strathaven. They host our next broadcast we will bring you will be Springfield, which, by the way, should be a green out. The Haverford boys lacrosse team is teaming up with Team Lily. They are going to be selling green Haverford Ford shirts. And they are hoping to get a little, get everyone to show up, show out, support Team Lily, buy some shirts. It goes to a great cause. For those of you who do not know the story of Lily Walker, she's now a senior in high school, and in middle school, she was an active runner. She's a great person all up and down, but she was terribly given a medical misfortune, and she's had to go through many screenings, surgeries, and it's never fun. Anyone who ever has to go through things like that, you never want it. You never wish it on anybody. It was terrible, but she's a fighter. You know what I mean? She never quits. And you know what? Something that's always great that I see, Max, no matter what she's going through, she always seems to have a smile on her face. So be sure to buy those shirts. It goes to a great cause. It helps out. Team Lily does not just focus on people like Lily Walker. It helps out with everybody around the area that is having any of these battles, and it'll definitely help a lot. It goes a long way. Anyway, we have the last minute 40 here. You know what, Max? I forgot to shout out our last two sponsors. I want to give them some love now here as this game's starting to wrap up. First off, I think I saw the truck drive by towards the end of the first half. You can't really miss it. The Cunningham Pest Control truck, the big C, as you see on your screen there, all along the side of the truck. So if you are in need of someone to take care of your pest problems, Cunningham Pest Control is a locally owned pest control company that provides both residential and commercial services to the greater Havertown area. The folks at Cunningham handle rodent control, insect baiting and spraying, bird control, and more. Please call 610-789-7378 to request a consultation from Cunningham Pest Control today. Thank you to our sponsors at Cunningham Pest Control and all that you do to help here. As we get a timeout called 55.3 left. Again, this one's out of hand. Not much you can really say if you're the Fords. This one kind of slipped. Definitely a rough one. This will be the second time in 3 games that Haverford has only been able to put up 2 goals. They lost 13-2 to Upper Dublin. They lost to Conestoga 17-5. That was after their tough loss to Pencrest at Pencrest. My fault. This will be the 3rd time this year they've only scored 2 goals. They only scored 2 goals against Radnor. They lost that one 14-2. Beat Westchester East 7-4. Lost to Ruston 15-4. And beat Unionville in a thriller to open up the season 6-5. But that's really it. But you know what? At the end of the day, Max, I mean, we kind of well, first of all, to bring it to our viewers here, when we called that track meet on the Saturday to start off, you had some interesting.
We don't need to bring that up.
We don't.
I don't think we
you
do.
had some interesting opinions on certain food topics we brought up during our.
Are we really gonna bring food up now?
I think we might have to because no matter what, I mean, you had your hot dog, which for some reason you choose over burgers. Yeah, you had 2 hot dogs, which for some reason you would choose over a burger at a cookout. I can't back that. I can't get behind that.
I am a picky eater, Tommy.
I understand, but like I don't know. I'm just I love. I think it's the more American thing is the burger over the hot dog.
What's the staple food at a baseball park?
It's a hot dog, but at the same time, like I'd rather a burger than a hot dog at a cookout. And don't feed me with the baseball as America's pastime. Baseball is basically dead. They had to change the whole entire complexity of the sport to make it so that people would start to watch it more. Don't tell me. Don't feed me that, Max. Anyway, why I brought up food is because no matter what, these players got to eat at the end after this game. I mean, they fought hard. You know what I mean? They gave it their all. But one of the places they might want to go, Max, is our good friends at JD. Oh, look at that. You look so shocked. Is our good friends here at JD McGillicuddy's. If you're looking for good food and a fun time, JD McGillicuddy's is the place for you. It's located on Brookline Boulevard, which is the heart of Haverford. I mean, everything goes on. Hustle, bustle. Here, as the final buzzer sounds, the Rams will finish this one off. They go to Mob Huntington, which, by the way, they should. He had a hell of a game. He absolutely stayed locked in the whole way through. I think he had around, I mean, we can check right now. He had about, I think he had about at least 15 saves. We could take it up, though. But, anyway, McGillicuddy's, heart of Havertown, fun for all family. They have outdoor dining, live music. They'll play bingo some nights. It's a great time. So always be sure to check out our friends at JD McGillicuddy's and call 484-454-5289 to reach them today. Thank you to JD McGillicuddy's, Cutting Pest Control, and Wagner Real Estate for all you do to help us out here. But yeah, I mean, to go over it, you definitely had more than 4 saves, but lots of saves done there by Huntington. Great time. Players are going to start shaking hands now. That's really going to be it. We're going to wrap it up. We've been roasting in this metal box trying to lose our weight. Not really. Please don't say that.
We need to
Joke.
open the windows.
We do. We need to open the windows and start to pack up, get out of here. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next time in the Green Out game here for Boys Lacrosse. We have plenty more. We have another track meet to call on Saturday. Can't wait to see that. Maybe I'll see you there, Max.
I hope so.
We'll see. Hopefully a lot more discussion on food to bring up. Anyway, thank you all. Appreciate you for coming and listening to my beautiful voice and Max's as well. And we will see you later. For Haverford Sports Media, I'm Tommy Toohill.
And I'm Max Capello.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, roll forwards.